The process of making this record felt way more like we were not following a blueprint. Do you know what I mean? Because I think sometimes going into making an album specifically, as opposed to like an EP or a single, you can think of things as disposable and fun, and that's kind of like why you do it in the first place. And there's something really fun about that.
What got us excited about this record, I think it was honestly just getting out of that pandemic era. Just being in your house for so long and not being able to do too much. And then us being like, okay, we're all safe, so let's get back in the studio finally. I mean, I think just that alone, just missing out on, what was it, like 4 years of not doing much, that alone kind of got me excited just to make something new and explore that realm again.
I think I just want to be able to showcase my ability as a musician and see how far I could push it, especially on bass, and just see like all the different ways that you can play and not just play like simple bass notes. I'm a huge fan of playing fifths, and when you see the band live, you see me mainly play a lot of fifths.
It's just always exciting to have new music. You always feel like the newest thing is the closest representation of where you're at musically. That's cool to have this new one in the can, and I think it's a really great representation of where everyone's at.
When you're going to make an album, sometimes you feel like this has to really like matter and be a part of my like discography or whatever. And sometimes you become overly precious because of that. And I certainly have in the past. And so this time around, I feel like it was very much like an exercise in just following what felt exciting and fun and reacting to it in the moment.
I think for me, knowing my role in terms of how much to put in and where, a lot of the times, at least for me, I'm riffing off of the space that Kenny provides. I think the fact that we've recorded an album with different people each time, really brings out your attitude in different ways that push you to get a certain sound across. And I mean, I think Kenny put a lot of that work in on the side of all of us being together in one room. Props to Claire, too. Honestly, big shout out to her.
I just love being able to make the bass sound like it's much more than just a bass, but making it truly accommodate the song and the melody within different ways. So it's not just playing different bass notes, but you're able to truly play within a chord and explore the chord.
Thinking about Hour of Green Evening, that one was like done originally, like 80% of it was tracked live together in a studio, like all of us in the same room. And this one is like a combination of every record that the band's done. A lot of the record is just Kenny on his own doing what he does best. And then there's a solid portion of the record that has the band in the room as well. It's our greatest hits record,
On Hour of Green Evening, we did it kind of like full band, live tracking. Everyone played all at once. And then we recorded that. But it was at the core kind of like a live album. Early Goon recordings were typically pretty lo-fi, like 4-track cassette recording and a lot of bouncing down. I just wanted to like push to have the live band aspect and then the lo-fi way of recording. I was just excited by like pushing the extremes of this band in every direction as much as possible. It was just like what felt fun and sounded cool, and I really like that.
Playing live, it's just so freeing and so fun, and I feel like you're able to live in the moment and really kind of dance off the atmosphere and what's happening. And sometimes recording, you have headphones on, you can hear every single little detail. You can hear your teeth chatter, and then suddenly you're like, was that my teeth? Why do I hear it so much? And then it could take you out of the zone just like that. But I think the big difference is there's this awesome sense of freedom when you play live. And, I love a good recorded version of songs, of course. Like, that's how we discover a lot of music is streaming nowadays. But when you're able to like see a band play something different live, I think it really alters the way that you listen to music and alters the way that you view a show. And for some of my favorite bands, I go see them live because I prefer like how awesome they sound live versus in a recorded setting, which is also why live albums are so great because it's so fun and freeing.
For this record, I think Closer To is a really fun one because it's just got like a driving energy that's more present in like the earlier Goon stuff. And it's kind of bringing that vibe back for this record. It's almost like a out of left field kind of moment for us. And it's taking kind of new life playing live with the beefed up ending now.
I mean, it is so special to get to tour and like meet people that listen to our music and care about it. The coolest part about touring is it really does remind you that this is like a shared endeavor between me and my band, the music makers and the audience. The real cool thing is that you realize that the audience and us were like doing this together. Music in a vacuum is nothing. it needs people to engage with it.
I just like chatting with like fans and having fun conversation. And I don't know, my favorite thing is banter. And I feel like with every new person I meet, especially when someone comes up to you and they're like, I wasn't even gonna come tonight and I'm so happy I did. And then it's like, oh, well, thank you. And I don't really know where I'm going with this.
You just gotta trust your instinct and follow it. I guess like I always imagine speaking to like a younger artist, someone who's fresh out of high school or even in college or done with college. You just gotta put it out there and get it out there. There's so many in-betweens and specific kind of things that'll happen that I'm still trying to figure out too.
Not thinking an idea is stupid. That's my number one piece of advice, because you're going to sit on an idea for a while. And that's the other thing too, is giving yourself a time frame. And I found that the hard way, like some of my own personal things, where it's like you sit on a song or a few songs for a while and you think you can keep like amplifying it. And to a certain point, like you grow as a person too, like everything around you is changing. So your influence change. So essentially you really want to try it out, flush it out as much as you can, make the changes later, but give yourself that time frame.
I think I would say, and this is coming from my own experience, to learn to love failure and repeated failure as quickly as you can. And not that everything you do will be a failure. Just start doing stuff, like put out music. Don't wait for the right time. There's never a right time. Don't wait for your song to be perfect. It'll never be perfect. If you think it's cool, and especially if you think it's cool enough to like show a close friend in your car, and of course you want to give all those caveats of, oh, well, it's not mixed yet, and we're going to add all this other cool stuff. That might be true, but if it's cool enough to share, then just finish it up and put it out.
It really comes down to never giving up. Then you constantly work at it. You will succeed. And that doesn't mean that you will succeed in the definition that is like you become this person that goes on these national tours and does all these things. I think succeeding is a broader definition, but I think when you work hard, you will find that you will start to actually feel like you are succeeding within yourself and you start to reward yourself. And I think we are our harshest critics. And the key really is never giving up. And you can't give up, especially in a field like music. If you want something, you have to get it and you have to seek it out and you have to try every single day and work at it, especially if it's something you love, because a lot of things aren't given to you. And I think when you do start to see the results after the hard work you put in, it really is so magical.